Kathy Griffin just got herself in a hell of a lot of trouble. As a comic, as a writer, as a comedian, as a performer, what do you think of that? And should people forgive her?
I
or
see
what?
that everybody's a hypocrite because everybody's imagined themselves standing there with his head. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe at least half the country. You know, we're in a tough spot. It's a very, very divided world, and those on I guess you'd call it the left side. I just call it the sensible side. Is, you know, we're sitting there watching this nonsense happen, and people like Sean Spicer come out and talk about it like we're kindergartners, you know, and covering for this president is like putting makeup on a melanoma. You know, not only unsightly, but it's dangerous.
Did you always want to do this project? I mean, it seems like it's perfectly tailored for you in terms of the craziness and the seriousness.
I got talked into it, man. I got talked into it. Of course, you know, I've watched for years as people try to depict the comedy clubs or this comedy scene, and it's always a kind of a brushed over, airbrushed version of things. And you know, there's not only this incredible creativity and these incredibly, you know, extraordinary and eccentric people coming together to try to make something beautiful happen and try to alchemize their pain into something gorgeous, but there's so much darkness, and that's where the real, you know, diamonds are formed, in the darkness, you know.
Are any of those stories from your personal experience, anything you could relate to us that would basically, where you would say, like, this is something people just wouldn't believe because it used to happen all the time?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've downloaded as much as I can of these guys, and I continue to do that because the wonderful thing about this show is it makes things bubble up, and these wonderful memories bubble up. Yeah. And of course, there's a moment when one of the characters loses a very important show, and I lost the Tonight Show one time. You know, when I came down to L.A., I was slated to go on at the Tonight Show, and I had a bad set at the Improv playing around, and the next day they told me I'd lost the show, which was, you know, curtains for anybody at that time, you know, pretty much. But I have this weird fail-safe thing that kicks in for me, and I go, well, there's a side window. Somewhere I'll find it.